Welcome to Train to Game, a new and totally unique way to start your career as a games designer in the fast-moving and massively dynamic video games industry. Now, before we look at how Train to Game's designer course can plug you into a bright new future, no matter what direction your life's taking now, let me tell you a couple of important things about the industry first. Did you know that a recent report shows that in America alone, over 65% of households play video games, and that last year over 500 million computer games were purchased by the game-playing public? When you add that up and combine the hardware sales of Sony's PS3, Microsoft's Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii's and games PCs, it makes the games industry way bigger than even the mighty movie industry. Now surely that's something you want to be part of. If that's not enough of a reason to get into the games business, believe it or not, there just aren't enough properly qualified people out there to fill the growing number of vacancies. Even in these tough times, the games industry is still in desperate need of great quality talent, and until now your only way into the business, if you were starting from scratch, would be through very expensive academic study on a 3-year university course, after which you'll need to try and find your way into the games industry. That's a tough road for anyone to take in terms of both time and money. And that's where we at Train to Game come in. We've been working closely with leading games industry professionals, combining their technical expertise with our 50 years of experience as training professionals. And what we've created between us is a brand new fast-track training plan designed by the games industry for the games industry.
I started in the industry about 27 years ago, working my way up from junior programmer to head of European development. During my industry experience, I've worked for some of the largest publishers in the industry. I've worked for US Gold, Microprose, Konami, working on over 150 titles, including some very, very well-known brands, Star Trek, Olympics, Summer and Winter, the World Cup, Silent Hill, Yu-Gi-Oh! The current difficulties the industry faces is a lack of quality amongst new applicants. They have the passion, they have the enthusiasm, but they don't have the formal training that we require. What's needed, and Train to Game delivers this, is a formal course created by the industry for the industry. And that way we can have applicants that can combine their passion, their enthusiasm, and sometimes even their experience with formal training, with technical training that allows them to hit the ground running when they first start.
In fact, the Train to Game designer course has been created in conjunction with TIGA, the UK's game development trade and industry body, which represents games developers all across the UK. The Train to Game designer course exams have been approved and are adjudicated by TIGA. When you qualify, your TIGA Games Design Diploma, and more importantly your skill set and level of knowledge, will be exactly what the games development companies are looking for.
TIGA is the National Trade Association representing video game developers in the UK. We have about 160 member companies, which include some of the key video game businesses in the UK, organisations with an interest in the video game sector, some university departments, and some outsourcing companies and technology businesses. We've been in existence for 7 years, and our vision is to make the UK the best place in the world to do games business. One of the key challenges that the UK video game sector faces is attracting skilled staff to work in their development studios. But TIGA's research shows that something like 50% of games businesses in the UK find it difficult to attract well-qualified staff into the industry. And part of the problem is the fact that the current academic system, the current university route, doesn't always produce good quality staff that are capable of working in video game studios in the UK. One of the key benefits about the Train to Game approach is that it is a course designed by the industry, for the industry, and being delivered by industry professionals. We're going to be adjudicating and setting the curriculum of the Train to Game qualification. So we believe that it will allow students to work with confidence and be recruited with confidence in the UK games development sector.
Train to Game is completely unique because you'll be doing hands-on games design with proven games technology and design tools from day one of your training. What's more, you don't need to have any experience in programming, games design, art or animation. Just a commitment to your passion for gaming, a creative imagination, a PC, and the desire to make a great living as a games designer. That's it. We'll take care of everything else, guiding you all the way.
I got into the games industry about 18 years ago. I started out in QA, games testing. Previous to that, I'd been working in warehouses and as a shop assistant. I'd worked in a game shop. I always knew I wanted to be a games designer, and working in QA allowed me to experience what the development cycle was of video games, the development environment, how games are put together. I got to see games from each stage of development up until the final release. QA allows you to, test the game and see all the bugs, and effectively you're kind of working as part of the development team. The early stages of games design really involve conceptualizing the idea of your game. Once you have your idea, you then start documenting that idea, fleshing it out into something that's ultimately going to be a fantastic game that people are going to want to play. In my role as a games designer, I will work with the artists, animators, programmers, sound engineers, production staff. We all come together basically to make the game work. There's many elements that have to be glued together effectively. My role as a designer is to make sure that all those elements come together. I have an overall view of the game from start to finish really. I can see where the problems may arise, and I can then talk to programmers if it's a programming issue, or an artist if it's an art issue. We do things like we storyboard the ideas at the beginning, so we get a visual concept of what the game's going to look like, so artists can then take those ideas and start making environments, animation, models for the game. The skill sets and abilities that any good game designer needs is a good level of understanding of Office packages such as Word, Excel, Visio and other flowchart packages. You need to have a good understanding of some of the tools that are used within game design, level editors, sometimes sound editors, drawing packages that allow you to draw, like SketchUp, allow you to draw sort of outline 3D models, environments, maybe characters. Photoshop's another package that's very advantageous from a design point of view because it allows you to conceptualize your ideas that can then be passed to the art team. 15 years ago when I started this games industry, it was a different age. The games industry was a lot younger back then, and it just seemed a lot easier to work your way up from a QA level to a design level. What Train to Game offers is an extremely structured course that shows all the elements of games design, games development. Students that have undertaken the Train to Game programme are undoubtedly going to be equipped with all the necessary skills that a designer needs. 15 years ago, I didn't have that luxury of having a course like Train to Game. Nowadays, it's something that's absolutely vital if you want to get into this industry.
The Train to Game method of learning has been created so that nearly anyone can do it. We're confident that our course is amongst the best available. In fact, when you qualify, you might even find yourself with a choice of opportunities. As you know, awesome new games are being created all the time, and with the global demand for new games on the increase, you can be sure of a strong lasting career at the cutting edge of technology, and more importantly, you'll be working in a job that you really enjoy. With the likes of Nintendo, Sony and Microsoft constantly evolving their hardware platforms, together with a massive growth in online and mass market games, the need to push the boundaries of gaming possibilities has never been greater. And if that wasn't enough, whilst doing the job that you've always dreamed of, you'll have the potential to earn a great living too. This is your opportunity to bring out the gamer inside you and turn your passion into a whole new career for yourself. What will tomorrow's games look like? Once you're a games designer yourself, you could be one of those helping to create the next million game sales blockbuster. Exciting stuff. Now don't get me wrong, you're going to have to work hard to get where you want to be, but with your passion and understanding of games, you'll get as much out of your efforts as you put in. And don't forget, with Train to Game, you don't have to give up any existing work or studies. Instead, you'll be studying when it suits you, led by some of the most experienced people in the business, even if you've had no experience of anything like this before. This training is completely unique and exclusive to Train to Game. Nowhere else can you find such a dedicated training plan designed by games industry professionals to kit you out with all the skills you need to be highly sought after in the games industry.
Yeah, I've had a great time. It's a great industry to be in. It really is fun. It's got the professional slants, but you know, what other job can you be working on a game for 6 to 8 year old girls one moment and then an SAS first person shooter the next? It's really cool.
So congratulations, you're taking the first step to a whole new life, and Train to Game will be there to guide you every step of the way.